Dying is cringe. Don't do it. Please. Right now, Australia is the biggest gambling country, so naturally, I love to gamble. Every day of my life is like a game of Ballotro. Real talk though, gambling is very dangerous. Behind the bright lights and promise of fortune, a lot of people have had their lives ruined. With every roll of the dice, a kid can't go to school because his bullshit father bet his school fees on a multi. It's degeneracy at its finest. But what if I told you that Liar's Bar takes this degeneracy a step further? Liar's Bar is a multiplayer game of bluff with 4 different game modes and a cast of rich and detailed characters content with putting their lives on the line for nothing but the thrill of doing so. You play against 2 to 4 other players, and it's less about skill and more about reading people. Not necessarily reading their facial expressions, but rather how they play. Are they bluffing? Are you? Is anyone here sober? I need a ride home. It's Russian roulette meets poker night at the inventory, and to be honest, for a game as seemingly high stakes and intense as this, it's actually kind of chill.
I could still win. I could still win. Don't worry. Never mind. Fuck. God damn it.
It's nice to just play some cards and hang out with your mates over a couple of cans of grog. Please like this video so I can secure a grog sponsorship. You have no idea how bad I need this. Every character in Liar's Bar feels like they walked out of a Cormac McCarthy novel. There's a section in the game called Table Stories that gives each character in the game a very ambiguous and very gritty comic strip about who they are and what brings them to the table. I love this. If you are psychotic enough to sit at the table of the Liar's Bar, odds are you've got a pretty good story. The game acknowledges this, and boy, do they deliver. Some of them are intentionally vague and left up to interpretation, while others will literally make you recoil. An addition like this makes the game carry a lot more gravitas while you're playing it. When you understand what drove each character to the table, you can't help but be at least slightly invested.
Yeah,
It's okay.
baby.
God is going to save me. God
2 wins
is
in a row for
on
Kaylee.
my
Has
side.
God actually?
Oh
my god.
You get a God save. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wait, it's happened twice.
You have 3 game modes to play: Liar's Deck, Liar's Dice, and Liar's Poker. Liar's Deck is the original game mode. It's essentially a game of bullshit where your goal is to empty your hand onto the table without getting caught bluffing. This is where you're going to have to utilize some situational awareness and read into how your opponents tend to play the game. If you lose, you put the gun to your head and there's a 1 in 6 chance you eat lead. If you're really unlucky, you'll hit the loaded chamber on your first pull and die. But the game gets really intense as the number of blanks you've pulled gets higher and higher. There's also a few other different variations of Liar's Deck you can play to shake up the formula, so the game mode rarely feels stale. Next up is Liar's Dice. It took me a while to understand how this game mode works, but after watching Pirates of the Caribbean again, I was able to determine it's essentially a very high stakes game of higher or lower. However, instead of using guns, you use arsenic poison, because apparently that's just something this bar has access to. Your body has a tolerance of 2 vials before you keel over and die, and drinking one of them makes your character look really gross. This one is a bit harder to get the hang of, but once you understand the fundamentals, it's a really fun game. And finally, there's Liar's Poker. This game mode was recently added to the game, and it's easily the most addictive one. It's Texas Hold'em meets Russian roulette. However, instead of money, you ante-bullets. Yeah, you get the picture. You can also swap 1 card in your hand if you're feeling risky. And if you truly believe you have a good hand, you can go all in. Or you can just go all in anyway and shoot yourself in the fucking head. Who cares? This game mode is easily the most intense and the most fun. My friends and I literally spent hours yapping away and gambling. At its best, I'd say Liar's Bar is a fun way to have a chat while playing cards casually. But at its worst, you actually start to take this shit seriously, which leads me to my next inquiry. Why the fuck is there a ranking system? Who the fuck is playing ranked Liar's Bar? And what's the meta? Is there a meta? Can you actually have a meta in a game of chance?
We got a comeback coming right now. It's all good.
Don't call it a comeback.
Don't call it a comeback. Let me just put down this king real quick. I've been here for years. Call me liar.
It's not.
Thank you.
Oh my
You're
god.
joking, you have exactly a king. That is bogus. That is fucking bogus. Okay, I actually do want to die. That's fucking bogus.
That's bogus,
This
mate.
is on the border of king,
bogus.
this is on the bogus of king's sake. Like God's sake.
There's also a store page, but apparently according to the devs, it was gonna get hacked anyway, so they just made it free. I hope they find a way to combat the hacker someday because it would be really awesome to support the devs further. It's clear that money is not their be-all end-all incentive, so I wouldn't mind paying like $5 for a skin. As long as they're not charging Riot Games prices, I'm happy. I mean, $500 for a fucking skin. What has the world come to? I also do have to preface that this game is still in early access, so depending on when you're watching this, certain things might have changed. It also means that there's still some time to add some more things to the game. So here are some things that I want to see. 1. More bars. Right now, there are 3 bars in the game. One of them fits the atmosphere, and the other 2 are located in China. I've been to enough dodgy areas around the world to know that China is not the only place with seedy dive bars. 2. A graphic novel. This could be a great way to promote your game and rake in a little bit of extra cash, because I'd 100% buy a Liar's Bar graphic novel. I mean, I'm literally begging you to take my money here, guys. Seriously. 3. More cosmetics. Literally just take it. Just take my fucking money. Please. 4. Updated voice lines. This could just be me, but it feels like half the characters have some really high quality voice lines and the other half have some really low quality voice lines.
Taking my chances. I switch.
I call. The monster's still hungry.
I call. I'll break you down, piece by piece. I call.
I reckon you'd ought to recast some of these characters and get them to submit their lines into an XLR mic and not a rock band mic. Anyway, in summary, Liar's Bar is a game about making reckless decisions and then gaslighting your way out of the consequences. And honestly, that's peak. It's stylish, it's scummy, it's weirdly heartfelt, and it somehow makes putting a gun to your head feel like a great way to spend your evening. I genuinely love this game, even with its Unity jank. It's creative, it's fresh, and it's got so much potential. So if you've got a few mates, a few hours, and the burning urge to lie to the people you care about, Liar's Bar is the perfect place to rot on the floor for a little while. And curve animation. Seriously, take my fucking money.